about being able to sign a great piece of legislation today, but before we get into that, I just want to recognize I was able to meet the students who were flying and helped save that guy who his plane went down in some water. You had alligators and all this other stuff, and so they were able to radio in. You got the help. The Navy, one of the helos, scooped him up and saved the guy's life. So Embry-Riddle does a great job in a lot of different ways, but it just shows you they got a lot of good kids here. So thank you for doing that. I want to recognize a lot of great folks who are with us here today. We have our Commissioner of Education, Richard Corcoran, here. We have the President of the Florida Senate, who helped shepherd this bill through, Wilton Simpson. We have Representative Sam Garrison from Clay County, Webster Barnaby from close by, Tom Leek, who's close. Is this your district, or is that Fetterhoff?
It is now.
Okay. All right. So we've got Representative Leek and Fetterhoff from Volusia County, which we're proud of them. Tyler Soroy from Brevard County, and then we have Senators Tom Wright and Jason Broder. So thank you, guys. And we have two parents who are going to discuss this legislation, Rebecca Sarwi from Volusia County and Alicia Farron from Orange County. So I want to thank them for being here today. We've been able to do an awful lot in education. When I came in, one of the first things we did working with Commissioner Corcoran was eliminate Common Core. We thought that that was something important, and you see the fruition of that not just with the standards that we now have in Florida, but also the elimination of the FSA, which is really tied to Common Core. We're now going to progress monitoring. If you look at what we've been able to do to expand educational choice, not just with private scholarships, but also with charter schools, parents in Florida, regardless of income level, have meaningful choice when it comes to the education of their kids. And so we're really proud of that. We're also very proud of having schools open when many places weren't having them open. And this was just a situation where we either had to do what was right for the kids or just subcontract out everything to Fauci. And we were not willing to do that in Florida. You know, people like Fauci were wrong. They wanted these schools closed indefinitely. You had schools closed for over a year in other parts of the country. We were not going to let that happen. So we said every single parent in Florida has the right to send their kid to school in person 5 days a week. And we were the only big state that was saying that at the time in the summer of 2020. And if you look at what's happened since, the massive learning losses in the areas that closed schools and wouldn't let the kids in, it was very difficult for parents. And so we were able to navigate that in a much, much better way. And it's not necessarily easy, but I guarantee you, we would have been way, way worse off if we had listened to a lot of the critics and the naysayers and kept that out. So we did that, and that was really something that was very important to the students, but also to the parents. We got a lot of working parents. You can't put food on the table and have to teach school all day. It was very difficult for particularly a lot of our single moms, and so it helped stabilize a lot of family situations as well, in addition to the academic benefits, and so we were proud of that. And then, we passed last year a Parents' Bill of Rights, and part of that was you shouldn't let the school districts force mask these kids all day in school. And so we felt very strongly about that. We did an executive order last summer saying that parents are free to do that if they want to. I, as a parent, would not do that, but that's fine. I mean, it's a free country. But you cannot force these kids to suffer under these masks for 8 hours a day. And so we were able to lead on that. We had some folks fight. We won all those fights, and we're much better off as a result of giving kids the freedom to breathe in school. So we're happy that we were able to do that. But I think one of the things that happened with COVID, and you had more parents now kind of having to be teachers. Like in Florida, obviously we had the schools open, but you still had periods of remote in the spring of 2020. And then in other parts of the country, this was like all the standard where they were doing it. So parents became exposed more to what was actually going on in some of the schools. And so they became more interested in making sure that, one, their kids weren't being forced to do things like mass, and they go to school board meetings, which is obviously important. But also, parents want education for their kids. They're not interested in indoctrination through the school system. And that's where